Living with albinism in South Africa can be extremely hard due to the discrimination that is experienced by many. Today, we chat to medical Doctor Zime Shabalala, who will be enlightening us and debunking any myths and falsehoods about this disorder. Welcome back to The Loft, Zime.
Hi, thank you for having me again. I'm really excited.
Girl, you know, having you in the loft just brings so much knowledge to the table that, you know, we had to bring you back. And now we're discussing something that's very sensitive to many. So let's start from the beginning. What is albinism and what are the causes of this disorder?
So albinism is a genetic disorder that you get from birth. And it's characterized by either a complete or partial absence of a pigment we call melanin. So melanin is usually found in our skin, our hair, and our eyes. So because it's a genetic disorder, there isn't really anything you can do to almost cause it to happen or to develop it if you're an individual. It's an inherited condition that any person can get if their parents both have a genetic defect and they pass that genetic defect to their child, who will then develop albinism.
So then, can albinism be detected before birth? And can parents find out if they carry the gene?
So yes, this is done through what we call genetic testing. So you can either do this through pregnancy, and this is a process we call amniocentesis, which is just genetic testing during pregnancy, or you can carry it out on parents at any point individually. But the main thing is that we encourage individuals to do genetic testing for albinism if they have family members who do have albinism. And even then, you can't really detect every single case, but it is possible.
Okay. So then, right now, currently, you know, is there a treatment that can help the body produce more melanin and lessen the symptoms of albinism?
So currently, there is no cure for albinism itself, but there is treatment in terms of supportive treatment. So when we mention supportive treatment, we're trying to say that there's treatment for the symptoms and the possible complications that are associated with albinism. So albinism, if an individual suffers from albinism, they do tend to have things such as visual defects, and they're also more susceptible to sunburn as well as developing skin cancer. So the management or treatment we provide to individuals with albinism is more supportive to try and alleviate those symptoms or try and prevent them from developing those complications in the long run.
Living with albinism, especially in SA, is very hard to do, doctor, because of the stigma attached to this disorder. Why is this, and why is it so hard to eradicate the stigma?
Unfortunately, in society, if a person suffers from a skin condition, they have a certain defect, as we label it in society, that affects their physical appearance. And for some reason, our physical appearance will determine the quality of life that we have in our society, unnecessarily or unfortunately. So if you're suffering from albinism or any other skin condition, not only does it have biological implications, but it also has psychological and social implications. So people with albinism tend to face a lot of discrimination in society and a lot of stigma because majority of people don't really understand what the condition is. And I think it's important as a society that we inform ourselves or educate ourselves on the correct information to understand what it is. Another important aspect that I think can help sort of eradicate stigma is understanding first and foremost that a person who has albinism is a person first and foremost. So understanding that they're people more than anything else is the first step in actually moving towards eradicating the stigma associated with albinism.
I like that you mentioned that, you know, we were talking about the human race and embracing the human race as a people and not tokening anyone and leaving anyone out. But like any disorder, as you've mentioned, there are a lot of incorrect and misunderstood information out there. So can we debunk any myths about this disorder which helps breaking down the stigma?
Sure. I think, especially with albinism in South Africa, there are a lot of myths that are associated with the condition. I think the ones that pop up to me that are very common first is that people with albinism, they cursed with this disorder, or they were cursed, and that's how they actually developed it. So that's not true. So as mentioned in the beginning, it's a genetic disorder, meaning that it's inherited. In other words, it's a completely biological disorder that a person will inherit. So there's nothing that any individual does or any other individual can do for them to develop the condition. Another common one that also pops up is that people with albinism are not intelligent or they're not smart, which is something that is absolutely not true. So albinism as a condition has certain complications or symptoms associated with it. And one of the main ones are visual impairments, meaning that an individual will have visual impairments if they have albinism. So this can result in them having certain learning outcomes that aren't the same as other individuals, but in no means does it mean that they aren't intelligent at all. And the last one that really does come up is that people with albinism can't go out and live normal lives or, for example, go out in daylight or in the sunlight. And that's not true as well. The reason is because albinism is associated with an increase in your susceptibility to sunburn or skin cancers, you have to take certain measures to reduce that. But that doesn't mean that you can't live a normal and healthy life like anyone else.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zime Shabalala, again, helping us understand what we are faced with when we do help those and have those in our families with albinism. We appreciate it.
No worries. I am more than grateful to do this.
We're happy to have you, Woman Crush. Bye, cheers.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, South Africa, again, Dr. Zime Shabalala reminding us that this is a medical condition passed down through genetics and genes. Let us not fret, let us not spread mistruths about this condition, and let's help and support each other in vulnerable communities.